Welcome to Makers MasterClass, good people. Makers Masterclasses are designed to help you strengthen your skills in key areas of leadership. And over the next hour, we will embark on a journey that equips you with practical knowledge, actionable strategies, and a fresh perspective on how to set and achieve your goals. And we believe you will leave with a renewed sense of self and invaluable guidance to conquer any situations that may come your way. Enjoy.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to today's Makers Masterclass. I am so happy you're here and that you've decided to spend your time with us this next hour learning how to create your future back plan. I would love for you, as you join, to share in the chat your name, where you are, and even your dream vacation spot. We're actually going to be playing with that in a little bit. And so I would love to know just a tiny little bit about you as we jump in. While you're doing that, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Alicia Hare. I am the mother of a beautiful 15-year-old daughter named Ansley. And as of today, it's actually her birthday. Our very spunky black lab, 4-year-old black lab named Lily. We live in the Bay Area in San Francisco, in the hills of San Francisco, where I get to hike and beach walk and be a soccer mom and so many other things that bring me joy. I am also the founder and CEO of Turnasol, which is a leadership consulting firm that helps leaders and their organizations in times of significant change to deliver transformational results and impact. We do that using a method that we call Lead Brighter, which is a leadership system that is built off of a 5-step process with a unique set of practices, mindsets, and skills that has helped leaders in companies and industries across the spectrum to imagine a brighter future and bring them to life. Future back planning is actually one of the tools in the toolbox of Lead Brighter and that leadership system. And I'm really, really excited to be able to share it with you today. So thank you so much for joining and welcome to our class. I'd also like to thank Makers for having me. I have been part of Makers for the past 5 years. Makers is an amazing organization that helps me actually achieve one of my brighter futures, which is to work with women to create more equity and equality for women in the world. So I'm so grateful to be doing this with Makers and to all of you. So first up, let me give you a piece of housekeeping for our class today, which is we're going to be using the chat quite a bit. I love interacting with people. I get my energy from interacting with all of you. And so the more that you put in the chat, the more I see what you're thinking and feeling, the more I feel like we're doing this together and I'm just not on screen by myself. So I welcome you at any time to put questions in the chat, to offer thoughts and reflections that you're having, to just react to other people's comments in the chat. I just welcome you being part of this community and being here today. Okay, so let's dive in. Why this class and what are we going to be doing? So the simplest way to talk about why this masterclass is Makers is all about helping the community of women that are part of it, which now include you, to become a true change maker, which is super exciting that they have these masterclasses to inspire and equip you to be able to do that. The way I think about what a true change maker is somebody who actually makes a better and brighter future. To me, regardless of your position, your title, your status, every single one of us has the opportunity to be able to do this. And I'm assuming that's why you're actually here, that you believe that something inside of you, whether it's the situation you're in, an issue, an opportunity, there's something in your world or inside yourself that's making you say, hey, if I had the right thought process, if I had the right skills, knowledge, connections, I actually could make a very large positive difference in the world around me. And you may not know exactly what that is in this moment. You might just have a hunch, and that's okay. That's one of the points of this class, is to actually give you a way to think about what that unique impact that you could have is. What I've learned over the years working with leaders is that if you want to be a maker, if you want to create a better, brighter future, it really boils down to asking 2 questions. The first is, what is the future I want to create? And I love this question because this question really taps into one of our most underutilized powers, which is the future hasn't been created yet. we actually get to create whatever future we want to bring to life. So the first thing that we get to do is say, what do we want the future to be? What do I see that excites me? What do I want to be part of? What do I want the world to look like? That's really an important question. What do we want the future to look like? And then the second question, which is equally important, is how will I actually bring that to life? I love that question too, because every single one of the futures that we all come up with today and outside of this class, every single one of those futures is unique to you. And that means no one else has ever brought those futures to life before. It also means there's no rule book, there's no path, there's no well-worn trail. So you get to come up with your best guess about how to do it, and then just get into it and try some things and try some things and try some things and find your way there. So those two questions, what is the future that you want to create and how do I bring it to life, are actually at the core of what it is to create and use a future back plan. So for the next hour, and in the spirit of helping you discover what this is for you, we're going to get you started on how to create and use your own future back plan. And the class is going to be divided up into two parts. First, we're going to discover what a future back plan is, and that's how where we're going to use your dream vacation concepts that we started the class with. And then we're going to turn that into how, after we've learned how to do it with a dream vacation, how can you practice creating a future back plan on a change that you yourself are interested in making. So those are the two pieces of class, and it's all oriented around what we call this future back plan guide. At the end of this class, the very end of this class, you're going to see a QR code, and it's going to take you to our website where you're going to get this guide that you see on screen. It is actually a self-reflective workbook that you can use anytime to create a future back plan. And this class is designed to walk you through the concepts that are part of that guide so that when you get to this guide, you're like, I got this. I know what to do here. So that is what we're going to be doing over the next hour. Throughout this class, there's going to be periods for you to reflect and think about the application of this stuff to you. I'm super excited again for you to share whatever you feel comfortable with in the chat. And I think that's all I want to say before we get started. Okay, so here's my first thing for you in the chat. Are y'all guys, are you ready to go? Ready to get started? Because I'm ready to dive in. Awesome. Okay, here we go. So we're going to discover what is a future back plan and how to create one. And you've already shared with me some of your dream vacation spots, which I'm seeing in the chat, Italy and Ann Arbor. Oh, Tim's from Ann Arbor, maybe Hawaii, New York, some other places like that. Where have we got? Bora Bora, Polynesia, Tahiti. So love all this. Paris, Lisbon. Awesome. I so love these. So let's play a little bit more with what you've already posted in the chat. And how we're going to do that is we're going to have some fun playing with your dream vacation. Here's what I'm going to do. I just previewed one of those pages on the next page. There are 5 sets of questions that I'm going to share with you now. And each section of these questions is about an aspect of creating your future back plan. What I'm going to do is put the questions on the screen. I'm going to give you a little color about what the questions are really talking about. And then I'm going to give you a few seconds to reflect on what dream vacation that you really want to go on, so that you, by the end of this quick discovery, can say, oh, this is really the dream vacation I want to go on, and here are my first steps to bring that dream vacation to life. So I'll show you the questions, I'll share a little bit, and then I'm going to ask you to kind of reflect on those questions for yourself. You can reflect mentally, you can write some things down. That I'm just going to warn you, there's going to be like a few seconds of quiet on the video, and that's going to be okay, so that you guys can actually think together at the same time. So here we go. First question. When you think about your dream vacation that you want to go on, what kind of vacation is it? Do you want to go to the beach? Do you want to go to the mountains, ski, spa, winery, a safari, a golf trip, something else? What kind of vacation is your dream vacation? So the first thing I want you to ponder on, and I'm going to be quiet and give you 5 or 6 seconds, is what kind of vacation is your dream vacation? So take a few seconds and ponder. Awesome. So hopefully you've located the kind of vacation that you want to go to. The next set of questions has to do with, what does that vacation actually look like and feel like? So here, what I want you to think about is start to imagine you're there. You've actually arrived at the site that you want to go to. So the first question is, where will you go? Is it a city? Is it a particular hotel, a specific beach, a specific spa or safari location? Actually, what's the destination that you're choosing to go to? And then when you have that destination, what do you imagine when you're at the destination? Is it crowded? Is it quiet? Is it nature? Is it buildings? Is it historical, modern? What do you see with a video? If you had your iPhone out and you were videoing what's happening, what do you see at your destination that really is exciting to you and is really this destination that becomes your dream vacation? And what are you doing when you're there? If it's a mountain, will you ski? If it's a safari, what kind of animals are you looking for? Are you reading a book? Are you doing s'mores on the campfire? At that beautiful place or that really exciting place do you want to go to, what are you actually doing? And who are you with? Are you with your kids? Are you with your partner? Are you with a tour group? Are you by yourself? Who are you actually with? So this whole set of questions is very much around helping you say, okay, I'm there. What is going on all around me? What do I see and feel? So take a few seconds and ponder for you what your dream vacation looks and feels like. Okay, third block of questions. When and how long and how will you know that this has been successful? So now that you've uncovered, this is the type of dream vacation I want to go on, now that you've imagined that you're there, let's actually get more crystal clear about what success looks like. What are the expectations that you have for this vacation that you want to make sure that you meet? So in this chunk of questions, it's things around like, well, how long are you going to go for? Are you going to go for a couple days, a couple months, maybe forever, your whole life, you're never coming back? Or when are you going to go? Are you going to go in the next week or the next weekend or the next year when your son graduates? Like, when are you actually going to go on this trip? And how will you know it's successful? So when I think about that, it's when you come back from your vacation, is it that you got to practice the language? Is it that you felt rested or recharged? Is it that you can now cross it off your bucket list? Why was this dream vacation successful when you think about coming back and going, like, yeah, that was such an awesome time? So take 10 seconds and ponder, when will you go? How long will you go? And how will you know it's been a successful vacation? Okay, number 4 of 5 sets of questions. What do you actually have to do to make this trip happen? So in future back planning, like I mentioned to you a minute ago, there's 2 parts to it. What is the future you want to create and how do you want to make it real? So the first 3 blocks we just talked about is around what is the future you want to create. This set of questions starts to help you make it real. So what do you actually need to do to make this trip happen? And which of these things might you do now, then next, then after? So for instance, you might need to check people's calendars. You might need to save money. You might need to get a passport. You might need your partner to say yes. What are all the things that you have to do to make this dream vacation real? And when you think about that big list that you've probably created in your brain, what are the things you would do first versus what are the things you would do next, then after that? So take a few seconds and ponder those questions. Okay. The last one. I'm serious about getting you all a dream vacation. So now that you've imagined it and you've started to think about the things that you need to do, this last block of questions has to do with what are the first things you need to do? Because why do we do all this if we're actually not going to do it, make it happen? So here, the question for me is like, what to get you going, to start the process. Do you need to research the location? Do you need to figure out how to get the passport renewed? Do you need to create the proposal so that your partner will say yes? The getting started is always the hardest part. Actually, I see somebody in the chat just said that. So what are we doing to get started? That's what this question is all about. So take a few seconds and think about, for you to actually make your dream vacation happen, what were the very first things that you would need to do? Okay, so you guys have just created your first future back plan. I just want to take a second and invite you to put in the chat anything that was fun about that, or any, like, the locations you chose, or anything that was insightful for you about kind of going through that set of questions. But what I'll say to you about what we just did is that we really did create a future back plan because we answered two questions. What is the future that we want to create, which was all about the destination and where we want to go? And then secondly, how are we going to bring it to life? And while I hope you guys share with me some of your thoughts, I'll tell you about my dream vacation as a way to make this even more real. So my dream vacation, if I break this down into a future back plan, has to do with going to the beach with people that I love, where I can be in a new location and learn more about different cultures. I actually want to go to Bali. I want to go to Bali. Specifically, I want to go to the southern tip of Bali to a beach called Jimbaran Beach. If any of you have been there, please put tips in the chat for what I should be doing if you've been. Specifically, I want to go with my 15-year-old daughter. I want to relax, sit at the pool, go to the spa, all those good things you do when you go to a beach like this. But I also want to continue taking surf lessons that I've just recently started with my 15-year-old, which I'm having a lot of fun with, and obviously see some of these amazing heritage sites that are around this location. So super excited to go to Bali. I actually am planning for real to go on this trip next August. For about 2 weeks. And I know it'll be successful when I come back rested, reconnected with my daughter and myself, frankly, and also that we have lots of memories to share with each other and with others. So that's really the future I want to create with my vacation. And the things I have to do to make it to life, which honestly is a long list, includes, and by the way, I've done hardly any of these, getting my daughter's new passport, locking in the dates, booking the accommodations, researching more about what are the must-dos and also the must-don'ts in this location, putting our dog in boarding, all those things, right? So the other thing that I want you to know is I have done a couple of things on this, and that is I actually did block my calendar out for August of next year for 2 weeks so that nothing gets scheduled. And I also have renewed my daughter's passport as the first steps. And my next step is actually to book the accommodation. So that is the future I want to create with my dream vacation, as well as the kinds of things that I know I have to do to make it real. So I appreciate you guys sharing some of your thoughts so far about yours. Like, you like the ideating phase, but the creating the plan actually helps you start it to life. So this might help you be more accountable. Time blocks and PTO coming soon. Amazing. Awesome. Thank you all so much. So that really is what is a future back plan. If I take you a little bit more into what, the key concepts that we're going to be now unpacking for the rest of class, the first one to know is what I said. A future back plan is really an outcomes-oriented roadmap that can help you identify the future you want to create and map out the critical actions to make it real. The thing that we just did on Dream Vacation, actually, you can apply it in so many ways in the real world. It's really so powerful to elevate your performance and impact, not just for you. Like, some of you guys, when you registered, mentioned that you were in transitions or that you were looking to inspiration for how you could make a big difference next year. Like, future back plans are for sure for you, but they also can be the team for your team. They can be for your organization, and they can also be for the people you serve. In the consulting work we do, we've worked for people who have used a future back plan to imagine how they're going to transform health and healthcare in America. We've also used them with clients who wanted to drive greater sustainability in fashion. We've used them to help double somebody's business so that they could give more prosperity to their employees because it was an employee-owned business. So there's so many ways to use it. For you guys, maybe it's about driving greater pay equity or reproductive rights, or helping your team with more greater morale, or just figuring out what you want to do next. It's a very, very flexible tool that allows you, again, to help you imagine this future that doesn't exist and be very clear and actionable about how to bring it to life. And what we just did through that vacation discovery is really just these 5 steps: that you choose your impact you want to make, you imagine the brighter future you want to create, you name the bold goal that helps you really stay focused, that you can measure to tell you you're going to be on track, you chart the path to reach it, and you start to take action. And these are the 5 steps that we're now going to play with for the rest of class. So we're going to move from discovery, and now we're going to get into practice, and we're going to practice your own future back plan that you want to create. So similar to what we just did, I am going to share with you the 5 steps of how to create a future back plan. And I'm going to then kind of give you some context for what to think about in each of those 5 steps. And then I'm going to invite you to take 90 seconds or so to apply what I've just said to something that's real and important in your life. Again, it could be something for you. It could be something for your team. It could be something for the organization that you work for people you serve, for the community that you're in. Again, so many applications. You choose the one that is inspiring to you. So I will ask the questions. You'll have some time for reflection. And we'll walk through those 5 steps, and then we'll put it all together, and then we'll wrap up the class. So we're going to dive in to help you now create your own future back plan. So to get started, we're going to start with step 1. Choose the impact you want to make. This is probably my most favorite step because it is what gets this thing all going. In the vacation example that we just used, this was deciding the zone of the impact, the zone of the vacation. Did we want to be on safari? Did we want to be at the spa? For you, it's the zone of positive impact that you want to make. What is it that you're trying to do? Are you trying to create a happier team? Are you trying to tell a story out in the world that doesn't exist? What is the impact that you uniquely can make? So to do this really well, you answer the couple of questions. The first is this idea of the moment that you're in. So when you're starting to think about this zone of positive impact that you can create, the easiest way to start is what's happening around you. What's happening for you? What's happening for your team? What's happening for your organization, for the people you serve? What are the possibilities? What are the challenges? Really kind of understanding and sitting with what's actually going on. That's the first question to think about when trying to identify your zone of positive impact. The second is, what's the unique contribution that you can make in this moment? This helps you you have to tap into what you want to do. The key here is finding something that you want to make, something you want to do, an impact you want to make. So that's something for you to really look inside and say, what inspires me? What excites me about what I could do in this moment that could make it different and better? I always suggest, after you've reflected on questions like that the easiest way to synthesize them down is to complete a statement. And when you're choosing the impact you want to make, the statement I love to ask people to complete is this one: the positive impact that I want to make is ... So this is where you declare the what of the brighter future that you want, the future that you want to make brighter and better. Here's an example of what that looks like. And I'll be honest with you guys, because I hope that a lot of yours are going to be externally focused, but some of yours might be internally focused. The example I have here is an internal one focused on a team, just so that all of you could kind of relate to it. But they could be whatever, like I said, there could be a ton of things that are unique to you. So here, for the example, for this person that's made up, the positive impact that they want to make is elevating their team's morale and delivering outsized performance for our clients and business. You can imagine this person, maybe the team had some layoffs, maybe there's some low morale, maybe that the organization really needed them to step up. And this person might say, well, the thing I can do is to really help our team morale, elevate, and deliver outsized performance for our business. So now is where I'm going to give you an opportunity to play. I'm going to give you about 90 seconds to do this. And I want you to think about the moment that you're in and what's happening all around you, your team, you, your organization, the world, and to think about the unique contribution that you can make. And I really want you to just sit with this statement. The positive impact that I want to make is this. Again, as you do this, know you're not going to answer the whole thing right now. We're going to give you a guide at the end. This is just getting kind of an appetizer for you to kind of get the sense of what our future back plan is. But I want you to play with it. So I'm going to give you 90 seconds to play with this statement. Write it down, write your thoughts down, keep them in your mind. What I want you to do is to answer this statement. The positive impact that I want to make is this. Okay, 90 seconds for you to reflect on this statement starts now. All right. So first one, the positive impact that I want to make now is choosing the impact you want to make. Let's move to step 2. Step 2 is imagining your brighter future. What this is about is now that you have established the zone of your impact that you want to make, it's actually stepping into the fact that you've already done it. It's happened. And what I want you to be able to do is to describe what you see and feel. So like in our dream vacation example, that was around, I want to go to the beach, but actually I want to go to Bali and I want to go to Jimbalan Bay and I want to be with my 15-year-old and do these things and be here on this date and so forth. I want you to see it like with a video camera, your iPhone video, that you can hear the sounds and feel the feelings and see it. So to take your impact and get down to making it much more concrete and tangible, the questions that I like to suggest people wrestle with are: imagine you're there, it's done, that positive impact is made. What are the images that you see walking around in that moment that it's done, it's there? You can be so proud of what you've done. What are the emotions that you feel? People, your emotions, people that you're around. What are the emotions that you feel? What are you hearing from people? The feedback, whether it's from the people you serve or your team or your family or whoever is part of your future you're trying to create. And who and what is different and better today because you made that positive impact. So again, it's trying to take this zone of positive impact and really imagining what it looks like when you're there. And once you've wrestled with these questions and imagined those, which is a completely creative exercise, there's no wrong answer here. It's really what comes up for you that excites you and inspires you. The statement that I suggest that people then create is this simple one. It says, when I achieve my positive impact, the brighter future I've created looks like and feels like, or is this. So this is all about crystallizing. If you've written those things down, answers to the questions, maybe you've made a vision board that you can see them visually, you've drawn it. Lots of people do different things that help them really see the impact that they're going to make in the future. But I really love to have people also crystallize it into words in this statement. The example I would use, building on the one from step 1, is if my positive impact has to do with improving my team's morale and generating outsized performance for our clients and business, then maybe the future I see when I'm there is the people our teams serve feel delighted by the services we're providing them, or the organization is recognizing how our team is overperforming on everything, all the measures of success. And probably important to me in that example is every member of our team feels valued, confident, connected, and energized. So I'm really dimensionalizing, when I say I'm going to have this particular impact, what it looks like. So what I'd love for you to do is think about that positive impact that you thought about in step one, and now take a few seconds. You won't finish this, but just play with it and start to imagine when you've had that positive impact, you're there, it's happened. What are you seeing, feeling, hearing? And how would you complete this sentence that says, when I achieve my positive impact, the brighter future I've created looks like, feels like, is. So I'm going to give you 90 seconds to work on completing this sentence, and the 90 seconds starts now. All right, so that's step two. Let's move on to step three. Step three is about naming your bold goal. Now that you've established the zone of positive impact and you've imagined you're there and you've had that positive impact and you now know what it looks like when you've brought that future to life, what I want now to figure out how to do is to give you a way to know it's happening. How do you know you're actually on track to achieve that brighter future, to create that positive impact? And naming your bold goal is actually the thing that helps you do that. In our dream vacation example, that's why I asked you to figure out, when do you want to go, for how long, and what does success look like? Because that helps you know, did you hit the mark? Did you meet the expectations? And so what this is about is taking the future that you've just imagined in lots of pictures and words and whatever else comes to you about that, and crystallizing it down into a singular intention that becomes the North Star for everything you're going to do next. The questions you ask yourself when you're trying to establish your bold goal and you're thinking about this future you want to create, and you're trying to say, okay, well, how do I distill it down into something that will tell me that I'm on track? You ask yourself the concrete outcome you're trying to achieve. Like, what is it that you'll see that you'll know you've done it? And in particular, the specific date that by which you want to have achieved by. In this particular step, I love this complete the sentence statement. To create your bold goal, the easiest way I know how to do this is to complete this sentence that has three parts. It starts with by X time. So in the first part of your bold goal, you're giving yourself a date by which you want to see this future come to life. Is it 18 months? Is it 5 years? Is it 10 years? Is it something totally different than that? You're saying to yourself, this is the time by which I want to create this brighter future to life, by X time. The second part of the sentence is I or we will have achieved Y. So the second part of the sentence is by that time, you'll have done something. You'll have gone somewhere. You'll have created something. You'll have changed something. And the third part of this sentence is so that Z happens. You've done that thing. You've created that thing. You've done that thing. You've taken that action. You've made that thing come to life so that something happens, so that something's different, so that people are experiencing something new. So the sentence here that you complete is by X time, we will have achieved Y so that Z happens. So the example I would give you to follow on our example is in 18 months, our team feels more connected, energized, and valued than ever before so that we deliver outsized results and impact for our business and the people we serve. So again, you see the three parts. In 18 months, the thing we're doing is making sure our team is, their morale is elevated in those ways so that we can actually have this impact on the clients and the business. So this is the third step here. And I'm going to give you an opportunity to play with this. And I just see in the chat somebody saying they're nervous because they might get disappointed if they fall short. I love that. And I love that because it means you're being bold. And being bold means you're saying you're going to try something. And you know what? You can always change it if it's not working according to what you think. So I'm going to give you about 90 seconds to play with this statement. My bold goal is by X time, we will have achieved Y so the Z happens. And I'm going to give you 90 seconds that starts now. Okay, so those first three steps are about creating the future, imagining the future that you want to create. Now the fourth and the fifth step are transitioning into how do you want to bring it to life. So in this fourth step, what this is all about is asking you to break this down into actionable steps that help you achieve your bold goal. So in our dream vacation example, the things that I had to do were getting the passport, booking the trip, booking the accommodations, figuring out what to do, not to do, etc. It's the same thing here. You've established your brighter future. You've established this bold goal you want to achieve. And now the opportunity is to start to imagine all the things you'd have to do to bring it to life. Let me provide a caveat to you about this that I mentioned at the start. Nobody's created your brighter future before. So this is your best guess about how to do it because there is no playbook, there is no rule book, there is no guidebook for how to do this. This is you saying, if I imagine me creating this, then my best guess about how to do it is if I do these things and then do these things and do these things, that I'll move in that direction. It's a little bit like flying a plane where the pilot says, I'm going from San Francisco to New York, and we know that we have to go to Denver, Chicago, New York, and storms might come and all that, and you have to adjust. That's the nature of these kinds of plans. So in this step, what you're asking yourself, knowing that it's just your best guess, you're not going to have it all the way accurate, is first, what are the things you need to do to achieve your bold goal? So that's all the things you can brainstorm about what you need to do. Then, I mean, it's like, what do you need to create? Maybe you have to create some new things. Maybe you need to organize some different people or organize them in a different way. Maybe you need to improve something or stop doing something. It's about identifying all those things along with who can help you do this. So what we're after here is similar to our dream vacation analogy, brainstorming all those things, but then sequencing them into some chunks. And again, I think one of the things that's really important here is that when you say a bold goal, it's super intimidating. It can be super intimidating. But when you start to chunk the workout into specific kind of chunks of block 1, block 2, block 3, and you can really see block 1 and you go, oh, those things are doable, it starts to help you get confident that you can do this. So that's the work of charting your path to reach it, is to determine all the things you need to do and then sequencing them into chunks to help you do that. I'll tell you again, because yours is a unique thing. Maybe you have 5 milestones. Maybe you have 10 actions under it. It's whatever you need to offer to write down for you to do it. There is no right answer to this. An example based off, continuing our example here is to reach the bold goal for team morale and delivering outsized performance. The milestones are here. There's 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. And then you see some very specific actions. We've only included a couple here just for the sake of being able to read it. Again, you'll have many, many more for you. But the idea is really to try to brainstorm it, know there's no right answer, and just give yourself the beginning of a path to get to your bold goal. So let's try this for a couple minutes. I'm going to give you 90 seconds. You will not finish this. Obviously, you probably haven't finished the first 3 steps. Again, this is just trying to get you to play with the ideas. To reach your bold goal, you'll sequence your actions into these milestones. Take 90 seconds to play. Those 90 seconds start now. All right. So the 5th and final step, similar to our dream vacation, is what are you going to do first? Because the point for me is you just need to get started. One of the things you notice about the step before we just talked about is when you create your path, oftentimes we're really clear about the first milestone, but not so clear about the milestones that come afterwards. And that's okay. Because again, nobody knows your path. You have to kind of scaffold your way there. So it's really important that you just get started, on the things that you know that you need to do. Like I knew in my dream vacation, I need to get the passport and that I needed to put the dates on the calendar. It's just important that you get started. So the questions that you ask here in this final step is around what actions will you take first? What actions will you take now? And equally important in the world of accountability is when will you check in on your progress? It's super important for us to have check-ins to say, to keep us honest about, are we moving forward given all the noise and busyness in the world? So here, the statements that I suggest that you complete are to achieve my first milestone. So if you just think about that first block, the thing you probably know what to do the most, and you think about what you have to do first in that first block, the first statement's all about listing those out, like identifying what those are. And the second is when you check on your progress towards that milestone. When are you going to check on your progress towards that milestone? What date? And we suggest a specific date. So you'll see here in this example, some of the first actions had to do with meeting one-on-one with the team, picking an offsite date, getting a date on the team's calendar, and this person's going to check to make sure they did that by June the 1st. And the reason that's so important is so that you can keep your progress going. You check and you learn and adjust, you check, you learn and adjust, you check and learn and adjust. That becomes your rhythm to actually bring your future back plan to life. So I'm going to give you 60 seconds to reflect on this last step of your future back plan, and then we're going to put it all together. So 60 seconds starts now. Okay. So now you've had your first taste of completing a future back plan. What I want to share with you is when you actually get this guide, because all of this, of course, you didn't get to finish. It was just inviting you to play. When you actually get the guide, one of the things you're going to see is a page where it all comes together, and it looks like this. And what I want to call out to you is the prompts that we've just shared actually form a story for the future you want to create and the way you're going to bring it to life. So when you read the prompts from top to bottom, it forms a story. And we love storytelling for a couple of reasons. One is because it helps you remember it. It also helps you inspire and enroll others to join you in your future back plan. So you'll see that in your guide. And what I also want to do to help put it together is I want to invite two amazing humans to join us on screen who have recently completed a future back plan to share their experiences of what it was like to do so. So I am going to invite Brittany Tran and Sophia Anil onto the screen with me. And I'm going to introduce both of them, and then we're going to have a quick conversation about their experiences. So Brittany, welcome to you. Brittany is a passionate multicultural marketer and global branding expert. She's got 10 plus years of experience in marketing, communications, brand strategy here in North America and Asia. She is creative and uses her purpose to help drive business engagement, innovation, visibility for underrepresented audiences. Brittany, I'm very happy to have you. Thank you for joining us. And Sophia, welcome to you. Sophia is the Partnerships and Donor Relations Manager at She Should Run, which is an awesome national, nonpartisan nonprofit that works to increase the number of women considering a run for office. She's an experienced digital strategist, fundraiser organizer, and her work at She Should Run is aligned with her amazing passion for equity and opportunity for women and girls in politics. So welcome to both of you, and thank you so much for joining me. Brittany, I'm going to start with you. You recently completed a future back plan, and I'd love to just hear really some quick thoughts on how it was for you.
Hi, Alicia, and thank you so much for having me. This was such a incredibly reflective and grounding practice for me. And I think I saw someone saying the notes that it's perfect timing as we prepare for the new year. And so I felt like I was able to, just for process, I was able to really dig deep into my goal and really revisit. I think that was the most enlightening experience. I was able to revisit dormant ideas and back burner projects that I felt like were still pretty relevant that came up. And I was able to take that, put it into the practice and go through the entire lesson and have a game plan. So it was really nice to do that during this time.
Amazing. Thank you. Sophia, what about you? What was your experience like?
I really enjoyed how approachable the format was of this exercise. It was so inviting, and I got to really explore what my thoughts and visions were for my future. I was also kind of surprised as I went through it, this almost urge to limit what my dreaming was, particularly in step 2, thinking about what my feelings and like what the environment would be when I succeeded. I think many in the comments kind of hinted at this kind of element. And so I was really grateful to, have this worksheet to challenge myself in that feeling and get to really embrace that fullest vision of what my success could be.
It's totally like hands off, no possibilities are endless when you do this. Yeah, that's amazing. So what did you kind of zone in on for your future, Sophia? What did it help you zone in on for that?
This was really helpful for me to think ahead with the new year and what I want to do with my position in She Should Run, and focus on how I can continue to grow what our partnerships are. Community and collaboration is so important for getting women to become civically engaged and think of their own public success. It's why we're all here in this call, that sense of community. And so that's what I focused on in my exercise.
Awesome. And Brittany, what about you?
So as a consultant, a lot of my clients are small businesses, oftentimes also in the multicultural API space. And I realized through this practice, the bold goal that I really want to lean into is continue kind of that narrative of bridging Vietnamese people, both here and abroad. And I started to dabble into a couple of things and a couple of communities and really build different things, but I never really had an actionable plan. So I feel like I was able to give myself plans, steps, and also a date of execution. And so my goal really is to build communities for Vietnamese American and Vietnamese abroad, specifically women. And I think deeper than that, I just want to do good work with good people. And it was really amazing to have that come out again.
Oh, that's so amazing. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to jump for time's sake. But I'm so grateful that you both did it. I've loved getting to be with you the last few weeks. And I wish you guys all the best as you go to create this brighter future. And I hope you keep me posted, both of you.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, more soon. Thank you again for joining us. Okay, let's wrap this up, put this all together. So I want to share with you the 4 key takeaways that I hope you leave this masterclass with. Number 1, putting it all together. Oh, I should say before I do this, and if you wouldn't mind, if there are questions that you've got, any remaining questions, or if you wouldn't mind sharing an insight or aha you've had in the class, I would love to see that as we wrap up. So I'll share this while you might be putting some things in the chat. So putting it all together, 4 key takeaways I'd love for you to walk away with. First of all, a future back plan is an outcomes-oriented roadmap that can help you identify the future you want to create and map out the critical actions to make it real. That's takeaway number 1. Takeaway number 2, you can use it to elevate your performance and impact for yourself, for your team, your organization, the people you serve. It's endless in its applications for how to use it. The third one is to create a future back plan. There are 5 steps. We've discovered those with the dream vacation. We also practiced them on a real change that you're interested in creating. There are 5 steps. And the last one is that there's a guide to help you. And at the end of this, in about 2 minutes, we're going to put a QR code up where you can find this guide. And everything we've talked about today is actually in preparation to help you be able to complete this guide. So that's the content that I have to share. I'm going to see if there's any questions in the chat or any other insights people had. Give you guys another couple of seconds, but it doesn't look like it, and I totally get it. Okay, perfect. So then what I'm going to do is just close with a big thank you. And to say to you, I have these sunflowers behind me on my wall. And I have them there because it represents the brighter future that I want to create, which is a world where more and more leaders like all of you have chosen to use your platform as a leader, whatever that means to you, to actually create a brighter future. And I believe that if more and more of us choose to use our leadership to create brighter futures, that our world will become and look and feel much more like this field of sunflowers behind me. And so I'm so excited that you joined me and you learned about this really, really actionable and inspiring tool. And what I'll tell you is it's completely in your control. It is based on your imagination, and it's based on your guessing, your best guess hypothesis about how to get create it and make it come to life. It's all in your control, which is one of the reasons I love it. So I hope that you're inspired to try this. I hope you're inspired to be a ripple of positive impact in the communities and the organizations that you serve. I can't wait to see what you do. You can follow me on LinkedIn or connect with me on LinkedIn. You can also reach me at leadbrighter.com. So thank you so much for choosing to be here, for choosing to use your leadership to create a brighter future. And I look forward to seeing you all very soon.